दीवारां गिरियां छत ये ब्लास्ट कोई बंदा अनहोनी करके गया।
कुछ देश विरोधी सूबा विरोधी ताकतां ਵੱਲੋਂ इस तरह ਦੀਆਂ ਘਿਨਾਉਣੀਆਂ हरकतां कीतियां जा रही हैं।
पंजाब का माहौल ठीक बनाए रखने की जिम्मेदारी मुझे लगता है कि चरणजीत सिंह जी चन्नी जो पंजाब के मुख्यमंत्री प्राथमिक रूप से उनकी है।
You're on The Nation at 5 and we train the spotlight and continue to stay with the big story today. At around 12:23 p.m. this afternoon, there was a blast on the third floor common washroom of the Ludhiana court. And that has claimed the life of one person. 5 people are injured. Charanjit Channi, the Chief Minister of Punjab, currently at the hospital in Ludhiana, speaking to the injured and also checking on their health and well-being. Meanwhile, there have been claims and counterclaims that have been made. The opposition in Punjab training its guns at the flailing law and order situation in Punjab itself. Also, the government itself, including the Chief Minister, trying to blame forces, external forces, political parties, linking it with the upcoming elections, and also saying after the attempt at sacrilege failed, now the attempt for a bomb blast and to try and create further, rift within society in Punjab. Navjot Singh Sidhu also alluding more to political opponents rather than those who want to actually tear open the fabric in Punjab. There are others who have turned around and questioned the Congress party, saying you drove a wedge between Hindus and Sikhs back in the 80s and the 90s. You're trying to repeat the same now. So many questions that have been asked, many issues that have been raised based on what is happening. But the larger question is, how did this blast happen? How did this person enter there? What is the kind of explosive that's been used that could create such an intensity that an entire common washroom is totally blown to smithereens? A wall is thrown more than about 8 feet away. And if you look at the damage, one understands the intensity. There are many theories. The NIA is present there. The bomb squad is present there. There is a thorough investigation that is on currently at the spot, which is currently being sealed. What is the nature of the explosive? What has happened? Multiple theories. We'll try and go across to Arunima and also Tejinder in just a bit. But first, let's listen in to the 3 varying reactions coming from those who claim to be running a very efficient government and by efficient unit in Punjab. The Punjab Chief Minister, the Punjab Home Minister, and of course the Pradesh Congress Committee Chief of Punjab, Navjot Singh Sidhu.
ਇਹ ਵੋਟਾਂ ਦੀ ਸੌੜੀ ਰਾਜਨੀਤੀ ਕਰਕੇ ਗੁਰੂ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਦੀ ਬੇਅਦਬੀ ਹੋਈ ਤੇ ਹੁਣੇ ਬੰਬ ਧਮਾਕੇ ਇਹ ਸਾਫ਼ ਦਰਸਾਉਂਦਾ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਇੱਕ ਖਾਸ ਕਮਿਊਨਿਟੀ ਦੀ ਪੋਲਰਾਈਜੇਸ਼ਨ ਦੇ ਵਾਸਤੇ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਅੱਡ ਕਰਨ ਦੇ ਵਾਸਤੇ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਡਰਾ ਕੇ ਭੈ ਤੰਤਰ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਲੋਕਤੰਤਰ ਨੂੰ ਡੰਡਾ ਤੰਤਰ ਬਣਾ ਕੇ ਇੱਕ ਐਸੇ ਪਾਸੇ ਮੋੜਿਆ ਜਾ ਰਿਹਾ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਪੰਜਾਬ ਦੇ ਲਈ ਬਹੁਤ ਖਤਰਨਾਕ ਹੈ ਔਰ ਪੰਜਾਬ ਦੀ ਪੰਜਾਬੀਅਤ ਦੇ ਸੋਸ਼ੋ ਇਕਨੋਮਿਕ ਫੈਬਰਿਕ ਨੂੰ ਪਾੜਨ ਦੀ ਕੋਸ਼ਿਸ਼ ਕੀਤੀ ਜਾ ਰਹੀ ਹੈ।
ਪੰਜਾਬੀ ਉਹ ਹੈ ਜਿਨ੍ਹਾਂ ਨੇ ਦੇਸ਼ ਦੇ ਲਈ ਕੁਰਬਾਨੀਆਂ ਦਿੱਤੀਆਂ, ਆਜ਼ਾਦੀ ਲਈ ਹੈ, ਕਈ ਵਾਰ ਲੜਾਈਆਂ ਲੜੀਆਂ, ਉਹਨਾਂ ਵਿੱਚ ਵੀ ਸੁਰਖਰੂ ਹੋਏ ਹੈ, ਅੱਤਵਾਦ ਦੇ ਸਮੇਂ 'ਚੋਂ ਵੀ ਲੰਘੇ ਹੈ। ਇਹ ਆਪਣੇ ਵਾਸਤੇ ਕੋਈ ਬਹੁਤ ਬੜੀ ਗੱਲ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੈ, ਲੇਕਿਨ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਗੱਲਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਕੰਟਰੋਲ ਕੀਤਾ जाएगा। किसी तरह भी अमन शांति भंग नहीं होने दी जाएगी।
अभी तक जो क्लियर हुआ है, एक की डेथ हो गई है और 2 लेडीज यहाँ हैं, एक वहाँ है अपना CMC, 2 आदमी DMC में हैं। अभी तक इनका पता चला कि 4 और 5 और छठे की डेथ हो गई है। किसी बात को भी अभी हम रूल आउट नहीं कर सकते। बॉर्डर स्टेट है हमारी, पाकिस्तान क्यों चाहेगा कि पंजाब जो है स्टेबल रहे। एक दूसरे के साथ हम लड़ाई करते हैं तो वो पंजाब जो है हमारा वहीं होती है, तो इसलिए किसी बात को भी हम रूल आउट नहीं करेंगे। एक्सटर्नल फोर्सेज जो हैं वो कभी नहीं चाहेंगी कि पंजाब स्टेबल रहे।
ਇਹ ਤਕਰੀਬਨ 12:15 ਵਜੇ ਦੀ ਗੱਲ ਹੈ। ਕੋਰਟ ਕੰਪਲੈਕਸ ਲੁਧਿਆਣੇ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਸੈਕੰਡ ਫਲੋਰ ਦੇ ਉੱਤੇ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਪਬਲਿਕ ਟਾਇਲਟ ਹੈ ਉਹਦੇ 'ਚ ਇੱਕ ਧਮਾਕੇ ਦੀ ਆਵਾਜ਼ ਆਈ ਸੀਗੀ ਔਰ ਇਮੀਡੀਏਟਲੀ ਅਸੀਂ ਸਾਰੇ ਸੀਨੀਅਰ ਅਫਸਰ ਅਸੀਂ ਰਸ਼ ਕੀਤੇ ਮੌਕੇ ਤੇ ਉਹਦੇ 'ਚ ਇੱਕ ਗੱਲ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਪ੍ਰੀਲਿਮਿਨਰੀ ਇਨਵੈਸਟੀਗੇਸ਼ਨ 'ਚ ਆਈ ਕਿ ਇਹਦਾ ਕਾਰਨ ਨਹੀਂ ਪਤਾ ਲੱਗ ਸਕਿਆ ਕਿਉਂਕਿ ਇਮੀਡੀਏਟਲੀ ਮੁਸ਼ਕਲ ਹੋ ਜਾਂਦਾ ਕਿ ਕਿਸੇ ਕੰਕਲੂਜਨ ਤੇ ਪਹੁੰਚਣਾ। ਪਰ ਇੱਕ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਸਸਪੈਕਟ ਹੈ, ਜਿਹੜਾ ਬੰਦਾ ਜਿਹਦੀ ਬੋਡੀ ਉੱਥੇ ਮਿਲੀ ਹੈ, ਉਹਨੂੰ ਆਇਡੈਂਟੀਫਾਈ ਕਰਨ ਦੀ ਕੋਸ਼ਿਸ਼ ਕਰ ਰਹੇ ਹਾਂ ਔਰ ਲੱਗ ਰਿਹਾ ਕਿ ਉਹਦੇ ਕੋਲ ਹੀ ਇੰਪੈਕਟ ਸੀਗਾ ਜਾਂ ਐਕਸਪਲੋਸਿਵ ਦਾ, ਜਾਂ ਉਹ ਬਹੁਤ ਨੇੜੇ ਸੀ ਜਾਂ ਉਹ ਕੈਰੀ ਕਰ ਰਿਹਾ ਸੀਗਾ। ਇਹ ਪ੍ਰੀਲਿਮਿਨਰੀ ਗੱਲ ਹੈ, ਇਹਨੂੰ ਕੋਈ ਕਨਫਰਮ ਨਹੀਂ ਕਹਿ ਸਕਦੇ। ਤੇ ਬਾਕੀ 4 ਜਿਹੜੇ ਇੰਜਰਡ ਹੈ ਉਹ ਸਾਰੇ ਆਊਟ ਆਫ ਡੇਂਜਰ ਹੈ।
Well, Tejinder Sodhi joins us live. I have Arunima also here with us at the newsroom. Let's go across to Arunima first. Arunima, the NIA currently, as you're tracking the story closely, multiple versions, first floor, second floor, third floor itself. It's appalling how a simple aspect of where the blast is, there is so much confusion around that. But let's set that aside. But the NIA is present there. Prima facie, what is their inference?
Yeah, that's the most innocuous part of the confusion, which floor the blast happened on. But yes, more than one eyewitness has said that this happened on the second floor. As far as the kind of explosive used, yes, the NIA team is on its way, but they're going to depend on the forensic team
Just
from
hold
the
your
state
thoughts.
police.
We've got Charanjit Chani speaking right now.
टोटल डेथ और टोटल इंजर्ड
ਇੱਕ ਬੰਦੇ ਦੀ ਟੋਟਲ ਕੁੱਲ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਹੈ, ਜਿਹੜਾ ਕਿ ਲੱਗਦਾ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਉਹ ਬੰਬ ਨੂੰ ਹੀ ਆਪਰੇਟ ਕਰ ਰਿਹਾ ਸੀ, ਉਸ ਦੀ ਹੀ ਡੈਥ ਹੋਈ ਹੈ। ਉਸ ਤੋਂ ਇਲਾਵਾ 5 ਜਾਣੇ ਇੰਜਰਡ ਹੈ, ਜਿਨ੍ਹਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਕੋਈ ਸੀਰੀਅਸ ਇੰਜਰੀ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੈ, ਉਹ ਖਤਰੇ ਤੋਂ ਬਾਹਰ ਹੈ ਤੇ ਉਮੀਦ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਅੱਜ ਜਾਂ ਕੱਲ ਆਪਣੇ ਘਰ ਚਲੇ ਜਾਣਗੇ।
ਇੱਕ ਚੀਜ਼ ਕੋਈ ਇਦਾਂ ਦਾ ਦੇਖਿਆ ਕਿ ਅੱਜ ਦਾ ਦਿਨ ਕਿਉਂ ਟਾਰਗੇਟ ਹੋਇਆ? ਅਗਰ ਆਤਮਘਾਤੀ ਹਮਲਾ ਤਾਂ, ਅਗਰ ਵਿਦਾਈ ਹਮਲਾ ਤਾਂ ਬਹੁਤ ਵੱਡੀ ਸਾਜ਼ਿਸ਼ ਹੋ ਸਕਦੀ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਅੱਜ ਦਾ ਦਿਨ ਕੀ ਉੱਥੇ ਕੋਈ ਵੱਡੀ ਹੀਰਿੰਗ ਸੀ ਜਾਂ ਅੱਜ ਦਾ ਦਿਨ ਟਾਰਗੇਟ ਕਿਉਂ ਕੀਤਾ ਗਿਆ? ਕੁਝ ਇਦਾਂ ਦੀ
ਦੇਖੋ, ਕਈ ਵਾਰ ਇਦਾਂ ਲੱਗਦਾ ਕਿ ਸ਼ਾਇਦ ਇਹ ਪੋਲੀਟੀਕਲ ਗੱਲ ਕਰਦੇ ਨੇ, ਲੇਕਿਨ ਜਿਸ ਦਿਨ ਦੇ ਅਸੀਂ ਨਸ਼ਿਆਂ ਦੇ ਪਿੱਛੇ ਪਏ ਹੈ ਉਸ ਦਿਨ ਦੀਆਂ ਇਦਾਂ ਦੀਆਂ ਘਟਨਾਵਾਂ ਸਾਹਮਣੇ ਆ ਰਹੀਆਂ। ਹਰਮੰਦਰ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਵੀ ਇੱਕ ਘਟਨਾ ਹੋਈ ਹੈ, ਉਸ ਤੋਂ ਬਾਅਦ ਕਪੂਰਥਲਾ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਹੋਈ ਹੈ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਕਿ ਕਿਸੇ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਵੀ ਬੇਅਦਬੀ ਨਹੀਂ ਸੀ। ਤੇ ਆ ਵੀ ਘਟਨਾ ਕਿਉਂਕਿ ਅੱਜ ਮੋਹਾਲੀ ਕੋਰਟ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਕੇਸ ਸੀ, ਇੱਥੇ ਕੋਰਟ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਘਟਨਾ ਹੋ ਗਈ ਹੈ। ਇਹ ਕਿਸ ਐਂਗਲ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਹੈ? ਜਾਂ ਤਾਂ ਇਸ ਪਾਸੇ ਹੈ ਗਿਆ ਆਉਣ ਵਾਲੀਆਂ ਚੋਣਾਂ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਕੋਈ ਏਜੰਸੀਆਂ ਪੰਜਾਬ ਦੀ ਅਰਥ ਵਿਵਸਥਾ ਨੂੰ ਭੰਗ ਕਰਕੇ ਡਰਾ ਕੇ ਵੋਟਾਂ ਲੈਣੀਆਂ ਚਾਹੁੰਦੀਆਂ ਪੰਜਾਬ ਦੀਆਂ। ਇਹ ਗੱਲਾਂ ਆਉਣ ਵਾਲੇ ਦਿਨਾਂ 'ਚ ਸਾਹਮਣੇ ਆਉਣਗੀਆਂ।
ਤਿੰਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਜੋੜ ਕੇ ਦੇਖ ਰਹੇ ਹੋ?
ਇਹ ਜਿਹੜੀਆਂ ਸਾਡੀਆਂ ਏਜੰਸੀਆਂ ਤਹਿਕੀਕਾਤ ਕਰ ਰਹੀਆਂ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਵੱਲੋਂ ਜਿਹੜੀਆਂ ਗੱਲਾਂ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਇਨਪੁਟ ਮਿਲੀ ਹੈ, ਮੈਂ ਕੋਈ ਆਪਣੇ ਕੋਲ ਤੇ ਨਹੀਂ ਦੱਸ ਰਿਹਾ, ਉਹਨਾਂ ਵੱਲੋਂ ਇਨਪੁਟ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਇਸ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਦੀਆਂ ਗੱਲਾਂ ਹੋ ਸਕਦੀਆਂ ਕਿ ਚੁਣਾਵ ਨੂੰ ਦੇਖ ਕੇ ਹੋ ਸਕਦਾ, ਪੰਜਾਬੀਆਂ ਨੂੰ ਡਰਾਉਣ ਦੀ ਕੋਸ਼ਿਸ਼ ਹੋ ਸਕਦੀ ਜਾਂ ਨਸ਼ੇ ਦੇ ਸੁਦਾਗਰਾਂ ਦਾ ਹੋ ਸਕਦਾ। ਕੀ ਹੋਏਗਾ?
Charanjit Chani trying to throw up many conspiracy theories, but once again linking it to the polls, saying there could be various agencies which want to vitiate the atmosphere. So that is what the Chief Minister is saying, while he says prima facie even I believe that the person who was trying to fit the bomb there is the one who's been blown to smithereens, whereas the other 5 were injured, should recover soon and should be back home very, very soon. So thankful for the fact that the 5 injured are none of them are very critical. But Arunima, lot of sketchy details, a lot of political posturing which is happening. But the Chief Minister and the state has to answer for the drone drops, the ammunition, the drugs, instances with Harimandir Saab and also what is happening now here at Ludhiana.
Yes, they would say that, central agencies will have to ensure this because, for example, as far as droppings are concerned across the international border, they could put the onus on BSF. As far as other, problems of sacrilege are concerned, they can't really wash their hands off. But one thing I can tell you, since the story broke, in the last 4 hours or so, I can see the way the narrative is being downplayed now by the Punjab administration. Initially, there was a lot of panic, but now it seems, and I think Chief Minister Charanjit Singh speech and he said something on the count say कि बड़ी बात नहीं है.
Because we've seen worse, so this is no big deal. 1 dead, 5 injured, not a big deal because we've seen worse.
Yes, so I think that clearly shows how they're trying to downplay. Now we would know exactly if that downplaying is spot on or not when we know the kind of explosive, the kind of IED. 2-3 things are very clear. A, even if the person whose body has been found was somebody trying to assemble the IED, how did he enter the court premises with the explosives? Where were the metal detectors? Where were the body friskers? How come he was not stopped? He entered with this kind of explosive. B, when the explosion happened, you can see people carrying on their bare hands victims. So no ambulance there. Nobody from the administration seems to have responded initially. So these are questions that the local police, the local district administration will have to answer while we wait for the BDDS team of the NSG, which has started from Manesar, to reach ground zero, scrape the forensic, scrape the explosives that are there on the ground and tell us for sure what is it that caused this blast. Prima facie, it does look like high-grade explosive.
But how did the high-grade explosive get in there is also a question. Not just the person who's fitting the bomb with the ammunition, but where is this grade explosive coming through is another question that's going to be asked. And also, is it true that there were a series of high alerts that had been issued across Punjab?
It is true, but the high alert specifically spoke about religious organizations. They said that, not just gurudwaras, because attempted sacrilege happened there, but also mandirs, masjid, they should all be alert. But at no point, I think, did they realize that even court premises could be, the soft underbelly.
Yeah.
And that is why these lack of preparations, lack of security measures at the court premises is so glaring. I think Home Minister of the state, Mr. Randhawa, acknowledged it. And he said that I've had a meeting with the Sessions Judge and Punjab and Haryana High Court has also taken note of that. So now they're promising to set up metal detectors. They're promising to set in more than 100, if I got the number correct, of PCR. Right. But a little too late. At least 5 people have been injured. 1 dead. They're saying he's a suspect, but we'll know only once the DNA test is done.
And one only knows how worse it could have been. Arunima, thanks for your inputs. I'm going to go across to Tejinder Sodhi, who's also tracking the story. Tejinder, what are the reactions that are coming through? How did this person get in there? The Chief Minister himself trying to float a lot of theories. Also saying what his estimate is that the person who was trying to assemble the bomb, how does he know who's told him? Because matters are still out for inquiry. And this entire politicking which is happening already, one blaming the other and somebody trying to pin the blame on the other, while most are asking what's the status of law and order in Punjab.
See, Anand, the Punjab Chief Minister Charanjit Singh Channi spoke on many issues, but the only issue which he forgot to speak was to take responsibility for the failure of his government. If somebody carries a high-grade explosive initially believed to be RDX inside a court complex, then it is the total failure of the security apparatus of the Punjab government. Charanjit Singh Channi, though, tried to come out with various theories. He blamed upcoming elections. He said that there could be a conspiracy because they have booked somebody for the drugs in Punjab, and somebody could have been trying to save himself. So these incidents are happening. So the Punjab government is trying to absolve itself from the blame, not taking the responsibility, as the people in the court, the eyewitnesses have put the onus, the blame on the Punjab government, saying that all the security apparatus, even the metal detectors inside the court premises, they are not functioning properly. People who can enter inside the court complex, you can well understand that people carrying high-grade explosives can inside the court complex without being frisked. So why did you deploy so much of police personnel on the court complex? So these are questions which the Charanjit Singh Channi government has to answer, but he's trying to put the blame on either elections or drug cartels, not taking the responsibility for the failure of his government. You see, initially, Charanjit Singh Channi is saying that initial investigation has suggested that one person who was assembling the bomb has been killed, but these are initial investigations. Anything concrete would be said only after the investigating agencies submit their reports. Yes, Anand.
Right. Tejinder Sodhi, just stay on with us. We got more information coming through. Culture Investigations Editor Manoj Gupta, where this is coming through from the Central Intelligence, and sources within the centre are telling us that the state government is actually ignoring alerts and SOPs. So the standard operating protocols are not being followed. Central agency alerts are going to the Punjab government on a daily basis. Recently also an alert was sent on possible interference by radicalized groups before the elections. Punjab government is not taking proper action against drug mafias and weapon smugglers. RDX and other explosives are coming in regularly and their seizure has gone to minimum recently. This is something which even Captain Amrinder Singh, while speaking to the media the other day and also to News 18, had said, what is going on? Because the crackdown on these drone drops and the drug seizures and also the weapons and arms seizures have not happened ever since I have demitted office. Government step towards increasing boundaries at BSF is also only because of this, because border state police should be extra vigilant. And also, Punjab courts are always vulnerable because of the extra sensitive cases and verdicts given by them in the past. So, multiple angles and multiple aspects which have been spoken about as far as sources from the centre is coming through. But Tejinder, interestingly, both Navjot Singh Sidhu and Charanjit Chani repeatedly saying agencies are causing this. They are, Navjot Singh Sidhu went a step further, somewhere trying to allude that there could be an interference internally by the centre itself to try and vitiate the atmosphere. Who would want to do this, and why would Navjot Singh Sidhu say that? Why is he stopping short of saying that there are elements who deliberately want to vitiate the atmosphere and they are operating from the other side?
See, Anand, while the Deputy Chief Minister of Punjab is saying that there are forces on the other side of the border, clearly pointing towards Pakistan, clearly saying that drones are coming from across the border, bringing in arms and ammunition, the Punjab Pradesh Chief Navjot Singh Sidhu is blaming the agencies. This is the very same Navjot Singh Sidhu who called Imran Khan his Yar Dildar, who hugged Pakistan Army Chief General Qamar Javed Bajwa, and recently when he went to Kartarpur Sahib, he said Imran Khan is like his elder brother and who has done a lot for him. So why not Navjot Singh Sidhu is speaking to his Yar Dildar in Pakistan and tell him to stop sending these explosives into Punjab. As our investigating editor Manoj Gupta has also got the information that ever since Charanjit Singh Channi took over as the Chief Minister of Punjab, there have been less seizures of the explosives, the drone droppings. You see, just a couple of days ago, the BSF shot down a drone in the Gurdaspur sector, but the drone was on its way back to Pakistan when it was shot down. So the consignment which that drone had dropped was not recovered. So clearly, it
Right.
could be also possible that this consignment which was dropped in Gurdaspur did contain explosives which were used in today's blast. So these are all the initial investigations, the matter of investigation that the investigating agencies are looking into. Yes, Anand.
True. So drops in Gurdaspur of explosives, confirmed intelligence happens. Where is the interference that should have happened? Where is the interception that should have happened? That has not happened. Charanjit Chani, General KK Sinha is with us. Vikramjit Singh is also with us. Major General KK Sinha. Charanjit Chani has gone on to say, we will not let anyone disturb law and order. But he also says, we have seen worse, so this is no big deal, but we will control it. One person is dead, 5 are injured. There is a blast inside a court in Ludhiana, in a court premises in Ludhiana. And this is what the Chief Minister of the state is saying. He's also said, it seems that someone who he's saying that someone who don't want to be someone trying to get himself saved is doing this. This will also be investigated. What is he alluding to? He says central agencies have sent us alerts in the past giving the upcoming polls. But what has the state been doing? So who should be questioned here now?
Anand, when the head of the state himself is saying, 2 days back he has given an interview that everything is fine, there is no problem, in spite of the fact that the center has been warning them that this type of incident is going to increase and there is a direct threat. Then today, and I'm shocked to hear, बहुत बड़ी गल्ला नहीं है. I understand that one chap died, intensity is so high, that intensity that all glasses are shattered. The blast, sound has heard kilometers. Anyone who knows it is not a small explosive, explosive. It is something very, very high. There is a dead body lying there. People are saying it's a Fidayeen. If there is a Fidayeen attack, you should not rule out any possibility. And someone it is coming, it is very clear, it's coming from Pakistan. They want, and especially that and you want, the head of the state is very weak. The government is weak. They are, they will take the advantage. And when the K2 plan is like this, that whenever the situation becomes favorable for them, when the people are weak in these areas, take action. Today, this one chap has been killed and 5 are injured. High intensity. If you don't back to Pakistan, then you are playing the game with the Pakistan
Right.
playing.
General Sinha, we are getting audio interruptions as you're speaking with us. We'll just sort that out. But Vikramjit Singh, look at this. The Harmandir Sahib incident happens and a British MP turns around and tries to brazenly blame it Hindu terrorist. So there is a narrative which is said, but the person who did this is lynched. So we don't even know the origins and who this person is. Kapurthala is cold-blooded, premeditated murder. And it is tried to be passed off as sacrilege. The Chief Minister today himself is saying, we don't know, it is not sacrilege and those who are guilty should be punished. The video is there all across social media platforms. The 4 days later, nobody's been arrested. Then he turns around and today says not a big deal because the person who was planting the bomb is dead, so 5 injured, so not a big deal. What is going on?
No, I think Punjab has suffered some very unfortunate incidents of lynching, which never should have taken place, especially the one in the Harmandir Sahib. Even if the guy was trying to steal something, he should have been handed over to the police. The Kapurthala incident was very, very tragic because the boy was just a kind of a vagabond who wanted to go and eat some food, and he was caught there. And it seems to me to be a very set-up conspiracy to try and trigger tensions in Punjab. But Anand, I think you need to go back to 2017 elections. 4 days before the elections in Punjab in 2017, there was the Maur Mandi blast in which 7 people died, including 4 children. And that blast was not traced to the Pakistan or the ISI. It was traced to the Dera Sacha Sauda. And it was the Punjab police's own investigation which found that the car used in the blast was engineered in the Dera Sacha Sauda premises. So, the sacrilege in Amritsar or the supposed sacrilege in Kapurthala is quickly followed by a blast. Pakistan has been sitting in arms, explosives, yes, but we cannot discount the possibility of something else also amiss. The attempt to trigger a communal polarization ahead of the assembly election should be very carefully investigated because we had the example of the Maur Mandi blast 4 days before the elections in 2017. We also know that who created Bhindranwale in Punjab. That means there were people internal who created the Bhindranwale terrorism. Yes. So there is capacity within the state to create trouble within the state. Pakistan is definitely going to fish in troubled water.
So then Vikramjit Singh, so then blame Pakistan, but it is all being created internally. Now, if I were to go by what GBS Sidhu has written in the Khalistan conspiracy, then the party that benefited with what was created in the 70s and the 80s was the party that came to power thereafter. Then 2017 also the party that came to power after those Maur Mandi blasts is the same party which is currently in government and which is claiming that there are agencies wanting to derail and wanting to polarize. The same accusation was made by Manjinder Sirsa of the BJP earlier in the day, saying that you've done this in the past and you're doing exactly the same. You tore through the social fabric of Punjab in the past. You're doing the same again, deliberately for your political gains. So, and it's the same leaders, Vikramjit Singh, who are today saying that this is being done for the elections.
Anand, one thing is very clear. As we have recounted, there is capacity within the state to create trouble within the state. We have seen it from the Bhindranwale years, right? People within the state will create mischief. Pakistan will also dive into the troubled waters and create more mischief, right? Now, what has happened now in 2022, the political configurations have changed. In 2017, the Maur Mandi blast benefited the Congress under Captain Amrinder Singh. There was the polarization of the minority votes because of the scare that terrorism will again come back to Punjab. And that blast was caused by people within Punjab, the Dera Sacha Sauda. The police report is categorical. It has been submitted to the High Court of Punjab and Haryana. It is on record. Who are the guys who caused it? Right? There's no ISI connection there. Yes, ISI is sending drones, they're sending explosives. That is also the truth. So, investigation has to cover
Vikramjit Singh, just the other day, There is this trawler that belongs to a Karachi drug mafia peddler which was caught with 400 kilograms of heroin which was supposed to come off onto a dock into a smaller port in Gujarat and then from there find its way via Rajasthan into Punjab. So eventually the drugs were coming to Punjab. The drones seizures have stopped, literally stopped. The last one, if I remember, was sometime late September, early October. After that, it's all stopped. There is no news about, but it's happening every day, and it's coming well into the Punjab territory. The issue now, General KK Sinha, is that BSF can patrol up to 50 kilometers, but who will file the FIR? Who's going to help the BSF trace, locate, and then take action? It's the local police. Where is the crackdown? Where is the coordination? Plenty of questions will be asked. At the end of the day, who's suffering? It's the people. And what is happening? The image of the country is hurt, and there is a social fabric which had come back together will be torn again. General KK Sinha.
There has to be intelligence.
Absolutely. Just listen, Vikram Singh. Anand, you are absolutely right. Take the case of this drone which was shot down. It was on the way back. Where it is carried out, where it has made the drop, where the payload was, whether it was explosive, whether it was a drug, whether it was a weapon, no one knows it. And the security, national security, if you start dividing it and saying that it is all internal, everyone knows in Pakistan, in Punjab, what happens. I have been there in 1884 when the Khalistan movement started. How it started, Bhindranwala was it was put down with a very tough hand, and that's why it has it succeeded. Now, if you become absolutely dismal, and this is Captain Amrinder is saying time and again, he's saying he has put the dossier where the mafia, the drug, the weapon, the explosive, and the people are not being. If this guy who has come over there, he's a druggist who has been put over there and given a shape of a Fidaian attack. This has happened. What happened into the Darbar Sahib? Now, no one knows about it. Who was this man? No identity card, no proof, nothing. He belongs. These type of things, if you start saying that it is internally happening because of the polarization, I think, something wrong. We are getting in the trap of Pakistan.
No, but
Pakistan
But General Saab, the fact of the matter is that the arms, ammunition, everything may be coming in from across the border, but there are those here who are acting at their behest and who are conducting this. Now, I've just got news coming through, and I'll come back to put matters in perspective. This is with respect to the Darbhanga blast. The NIA has filed the charge sheet. Manoj Gupta, our investigations editor, just sending us this information that the NIA has filed a charge sheet against 5 accused in the Darbhanga blast case on the blast at the Darbhanga railway station on the 17th of June earlier this year. They are all operatives of the Lashkar. NIA charge sheet is also against one person, Iqbal Khana from Lahore. Investigation has revealed that the Lashkar operatives had planned to set ablaze a moving long-distance train by placing an incendiary improvised explosive device. Parcel bomb in the train. The aim was to cause maximum loss of life and property. The conspiracy was carried out on directions of Pakistan-based Lashkar operative Hafiz Iqbal. Investigation further has revealed that one of the accused, Nasir Khan, had travelled to Pakistan and received detailed training on terror, including espionage, handling of arms and ammunition, and fabricating IDs. He's also received funds from Pakistan on various occasions for the execution of the conspiracy. Now, Vikramjit Singh, if you were to look at it, Bihar or Punjab, across the country, there are elements which are waiting for an opportunity like this. And there are also elements who are waiting to cash in on an opportunity like this. So this is a very, 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 very devious nexus which is dangerous to us as a country.
Absolutely. I think the Lashkar has been penetrating. We had the Jaish penetrating the security structure in Kashmir, and we had the Pulwama blast where 40 of our CRPF Jawans laid down their life. So I think the lapse also in Punjab is that they didn't have good intelligence on this possibility of a blast occurring in one of the court premises. So, one is that you preempt a blast by nabbing the guys before they actually carry out the act. So there is a failure. The first failure occurs at the level of intelligence. Just as in Pulwama, we didn't have intelligence on the blast. We cracked down only after the blast took place. So I think Punjab has a very clear history of external forces meddling and people within Punjab playing with fire. And the biggest example is the Maur Mandi blast, which was traced
directly to the Tera Sacha Sauda. There was no ISI involved in it. Yes,
But in
there
this
was a
case,
Nirankari Bhavan.
between 2017 and 2021, a lot has changed, and especially with the farmer protests, a lot has changed on ground, and a large number of people within the establishment, the government, state and centre agree that a reason for the repeal of the laws, and the Prime Minister himself accepted, was for the country. He said, "I brought the laws, we brought the laws, the Parliament passed these laws for the Kisan, but we are taking it back in the interest of the nation." The reason being that this social fabric, this wedging, driving a wedge between Hindus and Sikhs, this was something which was being activated at a far greater frenzy on ground using the protests, Kisan protests. The moment these Kisan protests are over, then you see what happens. The crackdown on the drug peddlers has not intensified, it has actually weakened since Charanjit Singh Channi has come. He says that because we are cracking down on the drug mafia, that there is a retaliation. He said that too. He said a lot of things today. He doesn't even know what to speak about and who to blame. But the fact of the matter is, he's the one sitting on the hot seat, and he's the one who should have brought an end to all of this. Be it drugs, be it arms drops, be it bomb blasts, or be it sacrilege. At all levels, those who lynched have not yet been arrested. Those who have murdered a mentally unstable man from Gopalganj in Kapurthala are still roaming free. And he's saying that the guilty will be punished. Where will they be punished? It's serious issues. And now we have Sukhjinder Randhawa, General Sinha, who's now saying Punjab has been put on high alert. Central agencies have said that we've been sending them daily inputs, but they are not acting in, they are not even following SOPs. Now, special teams are being deployed to probe the matter. He says, I went and met the injured and in the hospital. Peace and harmony of our Punjab should never be disrupted. It's already being disrupted, General Sinha.
Anand, what you are saying that, we are waiting for something to happen and then act. If the centre or everyone, centre has given 3 days back. What is, the chief minister, who was the sitting chief minister of Punjab, and he was saying, every time he has sent a dossier saying that, as on today, Punjab is sitting on the edge, and it is all coming from across. And his own party member is going towards, into the Pakistan and saying, he is hugging people, he is saying and giving them a clean check, and he wants to have something open the complete border. They want to open the complete border, of Punjab with the Pakistan, and they want, this is the way the things are happening. And then we have, of course, there are, sleeper cells. There are the people who can create this problem. And this problem which has been created inside the Pakistan is not that, people are coming from there and doing it. It is all are sitting. If the drop is taking place, of explosive, drug and all, it is going because it is well laid out things. Anand, in Punjab, I have served for a very long time, even during the Blue Star. It was happening that time. Only drone was missing. More or less everything is the same. Scenario is same. And now in the the divide. What this divide? This election will come and go. Why you are trying to have this divide? And everyone is making a statement that Sidhu is making a statement. It is to divide. He is making a religious loaded statements. This type of statement should not come. What he is trying to hint at. They are want to polarize on the cost of nation security.
Right. General Sinha and Vikramjit Singh ji, thank you very, very much. Thank you very much for joining us here this evening. Going across to big news coming in from Karnataka, where the Karnataka Assembly has passed the controversial bill, anti-conversion bill, the freedom to practice religion. The religious freedom bill has been passed. It's been passed by voice vote, and now it will be sent to the Upper House Council for consideration. We try and go across to Deepa Balakrishnan for more, but we're given to understand there was a huge amount of ruckus that happened earlier in the day, even as it was passed with the voice vote. What was being asked of the opposition? What happened? Did the bill have majority support? The numbers, did the government have the numbers in the first place very conveniently, very easily? We'll try and find that out. We'll try and go across to Deepa Balakrishnan for more on that. But right now, we are given to understand that the bill has been passed by voice vote. Yes, Deepa, go ahead, please.
Well, it has been passed by a voice vote despite the opposition staging a lot of protests. They were in fact against the introduction of the bill itself, and now after that, after the tabling, after the discussions, they were in the well of the House pretty much of the time. But despite that, since the BJP does have numbers, they have passed the bill. But tomorrow is the last day of the legislative session, so this bill will have to be taken to the Legislative Council for further endorsement, that is further passing of the bill, where the BJP doesn't actually have enough numbers. They have they're about one short of the majority. So if they're able to get an independent MLC or the support of the JDS remains to be seen. It will become law only after it gets passed in the council. So we'll have to wait for what happens there in the council, either later this evening or tomorrow, if they are able to table it and then process it through. As of now, the
Right.
has passed this bill. It's a bill that gives very stringent provisions on any kind of conversion, 5 years prison term for any conversion, and double that if it is a mass conversion or conversion of minors, conversion of Dalits and SCs and ST people anywhere in Karnataka.
Right. Now, the salient features of this bill, it doesn't say that any form of conversion is a crime. What it says is it's prohibition of conversion from one religion to another religion by misrepresentation, force, fraud, undue influence, coercion, allurement, or by promise of marriage. Converting or attempting to convert either directly or otherwise any other person from one religion to another by use or practice of misrepresentation, force, undue influence, coercion, allurement, or by any fraudulent means, or by any of these means, or by promise of marriage, abetting or conspiring such conversion is prohibited. And they say that the person who is competent to lodge a complaint is any of these people who have been converted, his or her parents, brother, sister, or any other person who's related to this person by blood, marriage, or adoption, or in any form associated or colleague may lodge a complaint of illegal conversion. The punishment is for repeated conviction of illegal conversion and imprisonment of a term of not less than 5 years, and also shall be liable to a fine of rupees 2 lakhs. But in terms of the illegal mass conversion, the imprisonment for a term of 3 years, but which may extend to 10 years, or shall be liable to a fine of rupees 1 lakh. And the first time offender may extend up to 10 years, shall also be liable to a fine of 50,000 rupees. So this is what there are clauses for if the person is from a scheduled caste or a scheduled tribe, and how they will be punished. There were 40 organizations that had taken to the streets in Bengaluru protesting against this bill. The Congress had come out and torn the bill. The DK Shivakumar also promising that if the Congress comes back to the power, they will reverse the bill. This is what was said yesterday. But today, by voice vote, this anti-conversion bill has been passed in the Karnataka Assembly. Taking a very, very short break here on The Nation at 5. Stay with us.